All right. I'm back. Like Jason. Keep coming back. I'm going to choke you out with some of this information. This week, today's show, we're going to talk about what we need to know for the upcoming week. You'd be surprised what you need to know. So today, we're going to tell you what you need to know about this week. So y'all get ready. Let's get it.
Door number 2 or door number 3.
Oh, wow. Oh, all right, okay, all right. No, wait, okay. All right, no, wait. Oh, wait, Monty. Door number 1, 3, 2, 8. No, wait, hold on.
All right. I see y'all. Val, Shura, Tamara, Alejandro, my man, Robert. I see y'all checking in on me. It's good to see everybody. I just want y'all to know I'm glad to be back. You know, we had about a week out almost. You know, we had a lot going on. We had to take care of some things and, you know, a little family business, that kind of thing. But it don't matter because now we here and it's about to go down. So look, y'all, we're going to get started. I'm going to talk about this coronavirus. But check this out. It appears that there is a new plague on the horizon. And in case you hadn't heard yet, it's a little thing called the bubonic plague. Now, I know y'all know that the bubonic plague killed a whole lot of people. Now, we're talking about the 1400s, though. Here we are in 2020, and it turns out that there was a case discovered in a place in China called Bayannur. I think that's how it's pronounced. It's in northwest of Beijing, China. Now, apparently this plague is caused by bacteria transmitted through flea bites. Y'all keep and infected animals. Y'all keep your fleas off your dogs. That could get kind of ugly. That's one way. It was one of the deadliest plagues in history, to date, you want to put it that way. The deadliest bacterial infections in human history. Now, it was called the Black Death. Y'all know we always get labeled. I say we, but you know, black is always used for something so bad and ominous and, you know, messed up. Anyway, we'll take that. So it was called the Black Death. And it apparently the symptoms is painful, swollen lymph nodes, fever, chills, and coughing. Now, I do believe that it is curable or serviceable, if you will, with antibiotics. I believe that is a thing. But anyway, there's this sort of a squirrel. It's called a marmot. And that's what they say caused it in 1911. That was another plague. Anyway, same bubonic. You know what I'm saying? It's actually it's still a thing. I believe there are several people who die once a year from this or same sort of whatever it is. These days, you can't ever tell what nobody is putting in your food, your drinks, or anything else. So we got to be careful with that. Anyway, in 1911, it killed 63,000 people in northeastern China. It was hunted. The marmot was hunted for its fur. It soared in popularity among international traders. The diseased fur products were traded and transported around the country, infecting thousands along the way. And we know that's how a epidemic starts until it becomes a pandemic like what we're dealing with today. So I'm saying all that to say, keep your eyes open for the newest, most fashionable plague yet. I don't know what to say, y'all. It takes me to a place where when we start thinking about, for my Bible folks out there, pestilence. And this is, God said a few things about pestilence and about sending plagues and that kind of thing forward. Now, I'm not going to get into that conversation, but you know what I'm saying. We're living in a very strange time. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm not really surprised. I personally believe that things are gonna be a little bit worse before they get much better, where the health of our country and the health of the planet is concerned. I'm a firm believer that the earth corrects itself. When some things start to get out of pocket, it's kind of like, I guess, the makeup of our bodies. When something in our body is not well, other parts of the body kick in to fix it. And I kind of think that's where we are, where the planet is concerned, because we're part of that natural process. And Earth itself is purely natural, of course, and it knows how to fix itself the same way our bodies fix themselves. Oh, Tamara, really? The Bible scholar. There you go. You ready for that? You want to go into I believe it is Psalms, where he talked about pestilence and the pale horse. See, I know a little something. Anyway, now, and speaking of diseases, right? Check this out, y'all. Apparently, somewhere in Florida, it has been said that someone got a brain-eating amoeba down there in Florida. And they say it usually hangs out in rivers, lakes, that kind of thing, where, stand in water, that kind of thing. Well, apparently they're saying somebody got it off of a slip and slide. Now, I'm not sure what that means, but we got brain-eating amoeba. We got the Black Death, the bubonic plague coming back, and we are sitting on top of COVID. Yeah, this going to be fun. Y'all, I don't know. It's not looking good out here right now. All right, so look, I'm going to get off into this other thing that I really got to hammer today. Now, before I do that, because I'm going to be mad by the time I'm done. Y'all know how I get. So, check this out. On Facebook here lately, we have been witnessing, I don't know if any of you've seen it. If you haven't seen it, the black organization that went into Stone Mountain, Georgia, and basically turned up. I say that tongue in cheek. I don't mean turned up, because here's the thing. Without getting into who's going to win what or what the situation would be, I'm going to give y'all a little bit of history. Back in, I got to try and remember what year that was. Anyway, it was around 69 or 70, I believe. 69, 68, 69. California laws, like many laws throughout the United States, were pretty liberal as it pertained to guns. A lot of people do not know this. A lot of the laws that get made in California, the rest of the country generally follows behind. They say, so goes California, so goes the country. Well, it was either 68 or 69, I cannot remember which, when the Black Panther Party began to make their presence felt and taking a stand, so to speak, and doing exactly what their Caucasian counterparts have been doing for decades. They bared arms. They went to their Second Amendment and they bared arms. Well, the idea of these black militant individuals walking around with rifles on their shoulders prepared to defend their community against police brutality and any other threat that might come to be. The government in California at the time, of course, headed by Ronald Reagan, in case you didn't know that, he was the one who put the legislation in place for gun laws. In other words, you couldn't have a gun in California no more, especially if you was a person of color. Well, that legislation, of course, because it scared so many white people, oh my God, they got guns. The law can no longer just apply to them. It has to apply to them and us. So they actually shot themselves in the foot. And this is part of the reason why the NRA came to be, because somebody had to be an advocate and fight on the side of gun lovers. I am one of which I am, but I will never support the NRA. That's a story for another day. Anyway, getting that segues me into this. There are more and more African American, I hate that term, black organizations that are now more public, because I'm not going to tell you for 1 second that they're new. They are not new. That are now more public, and they are recruiting, if you will. I listen to some of my folks, from time to time talk about, if something happens, if something was to jump off, they got way more guns than we do. Let me tell you something. I beg to differ. And I'll tell you the difference between them and us. It's not that we are not well armed. See, unfortunately, some people live in these bubbles in certain cities and they don't understand how the rest of the country or the world works, or in particular communities that look like theirs but have slightly different ideologies. My point is this. If it came down to it, what you're going to see is a surprising number of us that are prepared to get it in at any time, are prepared and willing. The difference between them and us is that we don't go around like you saw over the last couple of months, brandishing our weapons as a threat to other people, because we don't have a need to feel as though we're superior. When you see some of them running around out here with guns and they getting away with it and walking up and down the street with their ARs on their back, when you see that, that's them basically saying to whomever, I'm untouchable. This is America and I can do what I want. And they can by privilege, because they had that option. If I were to walk down the street with my AR-15 on my back, I guarantee you there would be multiple police squad cars pulled up and I'd probably get my ass whooped, because I'm not going to comply, especially if I'm not breaking the law. Now, y'all get my bail money ready. That's all I'm saying. So when we talk about the ability to bear arms, we're talking about, of course, your right as an American. Now, we are, in fact, well armed. This display by this militia, if you will, was a little, I don't want to say it was shocking, because it's really not shocking. But the fact is, we are no different than technically, when it comes to living, they are. And a lot of them don't realize how closely related we all are. Let me tell you something. If you don't make a certain amount of money, you can't relate to the rich ones either. Stop it. Stop thinking that because you, by the grace of whatever, your skin is one color, you think you can do better. Look, I'm going to put it this way. I ain't trying to be funny, but it's the truth. If they were not afraid of this melanin, they would not have had to resort to particular lawmaking, to particular behaviors of violence to keep black people where they were. The bottom line is fear. And I believe Professor Griff said it best. I think it was Professor Griff. Fear of a black planet. But guess what? Another little fun fact. I like throwing out fun facts. Another little fun fact. Look, y'all. Y'all waiting on that, ain't you? The earth, here's the fun fact. The earth is predominantly people of color. We make up the majority of people on this planet, other than those who are Caucasian. In order for them to maintain their superiority, if you will, they have to exert violence, they have to exert threats and other things to keep others in their place. Otherwise, they will have to prepare themselves to be taken out. See, there's so many ways messages gets mixed. Messages get mixed because people don't want to rely or focus on one area of what's happening. Let me show you what I mean. So today, again, I heard someone say something like, oh, black lives don't matter to black people. Oh, what they gonna do about what Black Lives Matter gonna do about the crime in Chicago. These militia gentlemen that you see on your screen, someone even made the suggestion, why won't they come? They should come to Chicago. They should come to Chicago and do what? Because let's keep it 100. That's not their gig. See, this is where I want to go with this, y'all. This is what I got to talk about, what I really got to talk about tonight. We have got to stop co-opting messages. When you place too much weight on anything, it will collapse. When we talk about, and I'm going to go over this right quick again, when we talk about Black Lives Matter, stop using that as a referral or referendum on crime in black communities. Stop doing that. Let me explain to you what happens when you do that. When you make an issue about everything, it muddies the water. It causes problems. It keeps people from paying attention and focusing on what the object of what you're trying to do. Black Lives Matter was set up so that police brutality, police death or murder of black bodies, unarmed, Black Lives Matter was set up to fix the injustices in the justice system, the just us system, not to come into your community to try to figure out who might have killed Bebe, but you know who it was because it was your cousin's nephew, but you ain't gonna say nothing because that's your family. They're not there to fix that. They're there to deal with police brutality and everything that goes with that. Whatever's under that whole umbrella, the systemic racism that takes place in these institutions has nothing to do with the crime in the community. Now, I'm going to just put it to you like this. All y'all that got time to complain, you on Facebook making posts about why black lives don't matter. Let me explain something to you. Don't get on Facebook and complain. Go out in front of your house and complain. If you ain't willing to get up and get your ass out in the street, you should have nothing to say. If you don't know who did what, you have nothing to say. If you do know who did what and you say nothing, you are in bigger problem. You might as well pull the trigger yourself. Stop it. Get your ass up. Become the change you want to see. That's all you got to do. Stop waiting for somebody else to always be the one to come along and fix your problems. See, that's a trained behavior that black folks got. It's a learned behavior. We waiting on a savior. We've been taught to wait for a savior with a pale skin. You got to stop waiting for somebody else. Don't come talking about what they gonna do. Ain't no they. Fix it yourself. If you ain't prepared to fix it, you ain't got nothing to say. You'll go to your church every Sunday and pay your tithes and offerings and get up in there and you're going to pray, speak in tongues and jump up and down and all that. But walk outside that church door with all your judgments and you don't help or stop what's going on in your own community that's detrimental to you and your property values and your family's life and health, you got nothing to say. Remain silent. Because that same silence is the reason why y'all having the problems in these communities, because don't nobody want to tell nothing. And because you think you're snitching. Check this out. When I was coming up on 79th Street, let me explain something to you. On 79th Street, Chicago, Illinois, one of the roughest spots you can ever grow up on. Lakeshore to Cicero, you understand me? But even in our neighborhoods, you respected the elders, and you didn't get out of line. There's only so far you was going to go because the men in the community weren't having it, period. We wasn't playing them games. It wasn't, but man, look, them old heads wasn't playing. See, just cause they sat up there, there's a lot of cats like that now in Chicago right now today. Just cause they look like some old men and they don't say much, some of them cats are straight up killers themselves. But I also fault those who are in the community who was killers, who have reformed themselves, for not grabbing up some of these young knuckleheads and making them stand upright and pull their pants up and get their life in order. Don't look for somebody else. Quit talking about what they gonna do, what Black Lives Matter gonna do, when them guys gonna come from Georgia, come to Chicago and fix it. See, that's the problem. Everybody look for a magic bullet. Did you know that if you rack up a whole bunch of pennies, so let's say you save 10,000 pennies. Same as $1,000. Paper or pennies. It don't matter. Same money. Come on now. Y'all gotta help me with this. We got to stop mixing messages. Mixing messages hurts everybody. Don't co-opt somebody else's platform. Create your own platform. I can't say that enough, and I can't say it loud enough. Create the need to what's ailing you. Become the remedy. Don't become the problem. Everybody has something that eats them up. Like some people can stand to see one thing, some folks can't stand to see something else. Okay, well, if it's a thing that you can't stand and you want to fix that thing, then go ahead and fix that. But don't expect that because I'm fixing this over here, that I'm supposed to come help you fix that over there. Look, let me put it like this, y'all. If we keep trying to lump all our problems onto one organization or one group or one idea, we're going to fail, like always. You cannot continue to co-opt other people's ideas, messages, and points that they're trying to make. I'm gonna show you just how messed up what you're saying is. Colin Kaepernick knelt down at a football game. He clearly stated that I knelt down at the football game because of police corruption, brutality, and murder of black men. But nope, that wasn't good enough. So the people who wanted to co-opt his message started saying, oh, you're disrespecting the flag. You're forget who you trying to support, the dead people. You disrespecting our flag. You disrespecting the military. They made up anything they could think of to co-opt that message. And guess what? It worked. Who don't have to deal with what we have to deal with, it gave the guilty an excuse to be guilty. You cannot continue to co-opt messages. You hurt the message. You hurt the point. Let BLM be BLM. Black Lives Matter. Let my men in Georgia who went to Stone Mountain over this weekend to make their point, let them run their thing. They don't got nothing to do with Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter ain't got nothing to do with them. And the Black Panther Party ain't got nothing to do with them. And they ain't got nothing to do. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody has to have their own platform and their own message. That way, we can make more progress. What kind of a military leader would I be if somebody started a conflict with us over in China, and I know Iran want to blow us up and I know Russia want to blow us up, but I'm going to send the whole army over to China. So I'm leaving my back door open for somebody to attack me while my whole army is in China. My point here, because I don't believe some of y'all got it. I'm going to show you. If I put all my eggs in this basket, if that basket gets dropped, all my eggs are damaged and they're no more good. You cannot put all your resources into one thing and expect to win. There has to be an organization that comes to pass or comes to light, a movement within the city of Chicago and neighborhoods like the one in Chicago where most of these problems are. Someone has to be the one to begin the pushback. An organization that allows people within the city to become unified in a way where they can say they know they have each other's back. So that when the bad actors, because we know there ain't as many of them as it is the good people, begin to act up, we have a reinforcement. We have a way to deal with them. See, that's going back to protecting your own community. If you don't do that, you're always waiting for the police or somebody to come to your rescue. But guess what? By the time you call them, it's usually too late. Because you have a reason to be calling them. You know, they got a saying around here in Texas, we don't call police. Because you best believe you get caught slipping around here, it's going to be shoot first, ask questions later. That's just how it is here. There's going to be some slow walking, some singing, and some flower bringing. I'm just saying. By the time you have to call them, somebody done already robbed you, hurt you, stole from you, or whatever the case may be. You calling them to clean up. There ain't gonna be much to clean up. Now, you can't keep putting one thing onto another group like they the poster child for all black issues. Take care of your kids. Take care of your grandkids. Make it so that they ain't out here in the first place. See, now I'm just preaching because everybody know that's the same old story. Everybody wants that. And everybody has an excuse when it comes time to try and explain why it's like that in their own life. But they will make excuses every single time. And they'll even make excuses for their child who just murdered somebody. There's an 8-year-old little girl got shot this weekend in the head in Chicago, dead. Somebody know who did that. Somebody absolutely knows who did it. Please explain to me why they're still walking around out here. See, you can't tell me that the community gives a damn. And every time one individual sits on this computer or on their cell phone or some other place and they, black lives don't matter to black people. First of all, don't put me in your blanketed statement, for starters. Understand that this is not a monolithic issue. There is no magic bullet. People got mad at Barack Obama because he didn't wave his hand and sweep away 400 years of oppression and hate. There is no magic bullet. There's no quick fix. If every person who came on to their social media and complained about Black lives not mattering to black people went down to the Boys and Girls Club or the Scouts or wherever and just took one child under their wing and said, little brother, I'm gonna help you through this. Did that, guess where we would be? It would be amazing. But we already know that ain't gonna happen. But everybody's gonna sit on Facebook and other social media platforms and go on and on and on about how black lives don't matter to black people. It just sounds good coming out. You know, some people want to sound smart. One man speaks because he has something to say. A boy speaks because he just wants to say something. See the difference? You got a lot of folks that run their mouth because they think something sound good coming out. And all they really doing is giving up that regurgitation, because that's all it is. Truth be told, man, I said this last night, I'm going to say it again. Harriet Tubman, she'd have shot some of y'all with the attitudes that you have. Left you hanging, left you right there. But like Harriet and her counterparts, the rest of us are going to continue to do what we're doing, and that is the work that needs to be done in order for our people to be better and more successful, even if you hate it. Like it or not, the work is going to continue to be done. I am in awe of people like Reverend Sharpton and Minister Farrakhan and some of the other young brothers that I know of that are in New York and in Dallas and across the country and in parts of the world. I'm in awe of them because they continually work tirelessly for the betterment of an entire people, some of whom don't even know that they're enslaved, much like Harriet Tubman once stated. When you don't know you're in slavery, of course, you don't ever think you have any reason to want to be free. But you got to know. And everybody doesn't know everything. And that is unfortunate. So we'll continue, like I said, to make a way, to find a path. We'll create the path for those of you who are lost. Hopefully you'll get in behind those of us who are moving forward and trying to make more happen, and at least follow suit. You know, we don't need leaders. What we need is individuals to take leadership over themselves and over their families. That would be an incredible leap for our communities off top. Now, that's not to say that that's a blanket statement and it applies to every household and every family. I know it doesn't. But my point is that we still know that there are people who are fully aware of how that little girl got killed the other day and who did it. Yet they remain silent. That in itself is a tragedy. Y'all remember Amy Cooper? Anybody remember her? Amy Cooper, that was the woman who faced off in the park with the dog, the bird watcher. And he told him that she told him she was going to call the police and report that she was being attacked by a black man. Well, she got locked up today. Imagine that. Her mouth finally caught up to her. Can't say that I'm sorry, but you know, that's what happens. So a Karen bites the dust, y'all. Let's see. Amy Cooper, the woman who was filmed accusing black men of threatening her, faces a charge of falsely reporting an incident in the 3rd degree. I didn't know they had degrees for that. Isn't that something? According to the DA. At this time, I would like to encourage anyone who has been a target of a false reporting, contact our office. We're strongly committed to holding perpetrators of this conduct accountable. That's District Attorney Cyrus Vance said in a statement. He ain't playing. It's going down. Yeah, they need to do it. Now the rest of the country needs to go that route. So now, look, y'all, what I was telling you earlier on the gun issue. Out there in California, when they made them laws and they said, you can't have these guns no more. It's typical of a particular mindset that they always seem to shoot themselves in the foot. They always seem to do things without thinking about the consequences of what may happen later on. And they do it, and this is not the first time, they do it every time trying to hurt us. And it eventually ends up hurting them. Again, this is the reason why they have the NRA today, was because they wanted to make sure that they didn't fall under the umbrella of these gun laws that everybody now has to follow. Well, California did that. Next thing you know, other big cities where the Panthers were present, the gun laws began to go into effect, and you have now effectively where we were. Things have turned. Kind of like when they dropped the speed limit down to 55, and now it's about 70. 75 in some places and 85 in others. Yeah, it's 85. I've been there. It's funny how things seem to repeal. It's sort of like Prohibition. When Prohibition came in, no more alcohol, and then all of a sudden it was like, yeah, back to the alcohol. We had higher speed limits, dropped down to 55 to save gas during the gas embargo in the 70s. Remember that? But now all of a sudden here we are back at 75, 85 miles an hour on the interstate. So all things seem to manage to return to where they once were. All right. With that, these people, well, now everybody can get their gun. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty much a free-for-all these days, which it's first time in my lifetime, but I do know that before that, it was sort of like it is now. So we kind of returned to that. But these gentlemen have come out and shown in force that the readiness and capabilities of some of our people is beyond what I think anybody or most people expect. A friend of mine asked me not too long ago, said, if something were to happen, well, he didn't say race war, more like civil war, but if something were to happen, do you believe that black people would be prepared for something like that? He said he didn't, and I said, I think you're wrong. I said, the only reason I'm saying that is this. Again, we don't brandish weapons as a show of force or as a threat. This particular group of photos that I was showing y'all earlier, I'll put them back up, was, from what I understand, a direct response from the Klan of America, KKK, saying they were going to march on Stone Mountain. So these guys came out and they marched on Stone Mountain. And their name refers to the fact that they ain't playing. These guys are no joke. And many of them are well-trained ex-military. So my point to my friend was, I said, I know people, lots of people, who are as equally armed, heavily armed than a lot of other people, than those who they believe would oppose us or oppose any type of a civil unrest. This is where we are. This is no longer a racial divide. And actually, it never has been. The racial divide in this country has always been an illusion. And here's what I mean. If you ever want to do some fun homework, look up Bacon's Rebellion. Look up the rebellions of that time, and it'll give you some insight on how race divisions began. This never had anything to do with color. That was used as a tool or a weapon to continue to get into the pockets of others. Here's what I mean. Poor folks don't have no options. But if you just pit the poor folks against each other, you can pick both of their pockets while they're fighting. And that's what we're living right now. So here we are with a division in our country that actually is coming to a head, I think. I think we're getting to a point where in this country, people are starting to realize that race and the planted hatred between races is not really a thing. It's always been economic. It ain't never been about black or white. It's always been about green. People, because of the disparity in money, income, legacy in this country, more and more groups are getting together and figuring out that this is about the money. Not about, because if you live right next door to me, you didn't spend no more money for your house than I did, but you white. And if you still think you better than me, you know, I don't know what to tell you. But we are no different. We want the same things. We want our kids to have a good education. We want, and I'm just speaking on a reasonable level. We want our, 2.5 kids to have a great education. We want our dog to not have fleas and, whatever, same yard. We want the same things. It's never been about race. Those lines are drawn in order to create an economy. It always has been. Race, the idea of race, black or white, started right here in this country. Right around the same time chattel slavery started. Now you figure that out. See, it's always been about money. Period. Race is the mask that they place over the robbery that they're going to do to you. Still doing it right now today. So, just as an example, see, you got to put these things, all of this stuff has to go into perspective. So, anyway, y'all, tomorrow is July 7th. I'm going to end it up right here. Tomorrow is July 7th. And since we're talking about money, and Phyllis Harris on here says money is power, bottom line, you're absolutely correct. And what I want from everyone here tomorrow is for you to not spend a damn dime. No money. Tomorrow is July 7th. It is Blackout Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. Please keep your money in your pockets. Smooth and cool like that. Stay home. Don't do nothing you don't want to do. Hey, if you got something you need to get it tonight. Tomorrow, if you have to spend money, please be sure that it is spent with your people. And when I say your people, I mean your skin folks. Why are we doing this? Because I think there's some confusion. I've seen some people on Facebook figuring out, why are we doing this? Oh my God, that little 2% of money that we bring. See, there's a person who talks an awful lot and knows absolutely nothing. Don't know that black folks are some of the largest consumers, if not the largest consumers in America. If the black dollar stopped just one day, I need y'all to understand that once you realize your economic strength, just like those who created slavery, you understand what you can get done. There has to come a time where we begin to get this. Stop trying to save a penny and leaving a black establishment to go to the Asian establishment because they got that same wig for 5 cents less. In case you don't realize that you are hurting yourself, your community, the ability to get jobs in your community, the ability for your child to have a good education in that community, because all of those tax dollars go right into that system. It matters. It matters. Tomorrow, Blackout Tuesday. Again, there are people who act like this is going to cost them some money. Why would I? It don't make no sense. Why should they should have did it from the first to the seventh. They should have did this. Listen. Didn't we just talk about co-opted messages? See how that works? Let's not co-opt the message of July 7th. Black people show unity and save your money on that day. They want to co-opt it and do too much and water it down. And then it becomes muted and messed up. Stop doing that. Stop co-opting, borrowing messages. Stick to one plan. Too many chiefs, not enough Indians. Let's get it done. See? Baby steps. You ain't got to jump out there and add every problem the black community got into the whole ball of wax. The messages get mixed. They get lost. People want to know why the LBGT community get what they want. They pick a plot and they stick to it. They go in there with a plan. They go in there with clarity about what it is that they're demanding. They don't pile all of their problems into one big ball and say, here's our demands. No. They say, okay, this is what we want. We want equality in the workplace. Stick to that. Not all the other stuff that goes around, whatever it is to be in that community that they need done. Right now, we're going to stick to that one thing. We want equality in the workplace. Boom, Supreme Court, done. What's next on the agenda? If we don't come up with an agenda with demands, don't expect nothing. I say it all the time. Y'all know my favorite words. Power concedes nothing without demand. If you don't have your demands in order, what you think you're going to get? Ain't nobody giving away nothing. When the last time you seen somebody, a king, walk off the throne and be like, hey, homie, right there, you can have that. That's you. That's you now. Here go the crown, homie. No, it's not how this works. You got to get took out or die. Ain't nobody giving nothing away. Ain't nobody giving away no power. Ain't nobody giving away nothing that you want that's worth having. You got to take it if you want it. And then when you take it, you got to be able to hold it. Just like going out there and you got enough money to put a down payment on a Bentley. Ooh, I'm going to put this down payment on that Bentley. A month later, you can't afford the first note. You take it, but you got to be able to hold it. Power. You got to take it, baby. And then when you take it, you got to be able to hold it. When you're the man on the top of the pile, somebody always trying to knock you off. Do not get that confused ever. People who know nothing about you see you on top and want you down from there. They ain't giving away nothing. You're going to fight for that spot. Please believe it. Else you won't have it. Until we come up with some demands, don't expect nothing. Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, Blackout Tuesday. It don't cost you nothing. Just keep your money in your pocket. Don't shop on Amazon. Don't buy nothing. Look, she over here sucking her teeth. See, Amazon queen over here. Don't buy nothing. Just keep your money in your pockets, baby. That's all you got to do. It ain't rocket science. It don't cost you jack. Let's just see how it works. It don't need no explanation. It don't need a whole bunch of confusing conversation. It's about unity. Unity that's free. If you ain't got to spend a dime. All you got to do is hold your paper to show your solidarity with your people to try and make things better. If it was never a better time for black folks to progress as now, there never has been one. The ears are open, finally. Make statements while these ears are open. A statement is hold your money. Keep it in your pocket. Keep it all in your pocket. Now, with the exception of spending your money with your melanated brethren. I'm going to say it again. If you got to spend your paper, spend it with black folks tomorrow. And I'm speaking predominantly to, well, shit, I'm speaking to all my, I don't care if you white or Mexican, my man Alejandro on here, my boy Alex, that's my ride, that's my homie right there. Spend your money with black people tomorrow. It's really as simple as that. If you have to spend any. If not, get what you got to get today and go sit down somewhere. It's supposed to be sitting down anyway. It's a virus going on out there. And the bubonic plague is on its way. No, that wasn't a joke for those of you who tuned in late. The bubonic plague has made a showing in China. Coming soon to a city near you. I hope not. Y'all know what it is. Tomorrow, July 7th, Blackout Tuesday. Spend it no money. And if you do, spend it with your own people. So, before I go, it is time for me to give to you one of my sponsors. I want y'all to know this Royalty is off the chain. Royalty LLC out of Florida, Orange Park. Y'all get that information. She got some fly tea, great tea. Robert Marshall says, I want my Black Factor book. Robert Marshall, I got it for you, baby. I do. Yep. Hey, y'all, don't forget, get your Royalty. A lot of y'all have tried it. Please feel free to get them reviews every chance you get, because I happen to thoroughly enjoy that particular tea. And my newest addition to the family here, Froth Naturals, where science meets beauty. Hey, I'm telling y'all now, that shea butter off the chain. And then she's got a coffee-based exfoliant. It is great. That's all I'm going to say. It's great. Look at this beautiful skin. Hey, a bit of shade. Y'all bear with a brother. Y'all got to bear with me, baby. Yeah, so anyway, I want you all to, for those of you who enjoy the show, I want you all to don't forget to subscribe on YouTube at BM Forbes, and on Twitch, The Black Factor. Don't forget to hit your notification button on your page so that when we get our live on, y'all can come on in and check a brother out. And we can have these little talks and share a little history. And you know how we do. We talk about some of everything on this show. And I am happy to be able to do that. And I do want you all to know that I thoroughly appreciate every last one of you. You make this enjoyable, because I just like to push them buttons and make you think a little bit if I can, just add some perspective. You know, everybody, unfortunately, doesn't have perspective. I like to believe that I do. And so with that, I will share my thoughts and ideas with you when I get every opportunity, because I enjoy it. It's fun. It's fun, y'all. All right. We out of here till tomorrow. Y'all know it's going to be a whole bunch of crap between now and then, so you know how we do. Everybody love, peace, and chicken grease. We in the win.
Door number 2 or door number 3.
Oh, wow. Oh, all right, okay, all right. No, wait, okay. All right, now, wait. Oh, wait, Monty. Door number 1, 3, 2, 8. No, wait, hold on.